Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Lunch Break. I'm Jay.
And I'm Marie.
And we hope that you're enjoying that tuna fish sandwich that you have. Hopefully you kept it cold up until lunchtime. But if not, I hope you have a strong stomach. We hope you have a strong stomach for this story. Marie, what do you think?
I hope you drink enough water. And here we go.
So today we're reading from Am I Overreacting? Let's see if this OP is, in fact, overreacting.
Am I overreacting?
No, I think you're the right amount excited for this story.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, God.
Am I overreacting for refusing to switch shifts with a coworker after she called in sick for a concert? I work in a busy restaurant. A coworker, Jenna, asked me last week if I would switch shifts with her this upcoming Saturday. I already had plans to go to my nephew's birthday party, which is a big deal for my family, so I told her I couldn't. She seemed annoyed but dropped it. This morning, she texted me saying she was sick and wouldn't be able to make her shift. Our manager then called me and asked if I could come in since I was the only one not scheduled and they were desperate. I was about to say yes out of guilt, and so I saw Jenna's Instagram story. She's clearly not sick. She's at a music festival 3 states away. I called our manager back and told him I couldn't cover the shift after all and that he might want to check her social media. Jenna obviously got in huge trouble and is now blowing up my phone. She's calling me a snitch and a terrible teammate for not just helping her out and for getting her caught. She says everyone calls in sick for things sometimes and that I've created a hostile work environment for her. A part of me feels like maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut and taken the shift to avoid drama. But I'm also furious that she tried to manipulate me and our manager with a lie. I don't see the problem.
Me neither.
Now, if I was going to be devil's advocate
I'm peeking, Kevin. It's my time now.
and try to find a problem within the post, well, first and foremost, I don't think you're overreacting. You took the time off well in advance. Good on you. That's what you're supposed to do. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes, like, I feel sick this Friday and it's Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we get that. Sometimes people take off and do fun things. And you should always, like, prioritize, taking care of yourself. Like, first, work, handle your responsibilities. And if all that's handled and something cool comes up, totally understand. It seems like you're in a position, not OP, but the other person, seems like you're in a position where you know well in advance that you needed to take time off, but someone already beat you to the punch, and that's a sad reality. So I get, calling in sick. Not the right thing to do necessarily, but I get it. Now, where you messed up is if you're gonna play hooky, don't put it on social media, especially the day of.
Yeah.
Wait a few days. Wait a couple weeks. I may or may not be speaking from experience. Go enjoy yourself, take your pictures, take your videos, but wait to post them. However, I get why that person's upset with OP for quote unquote snitching. Now, OP, I don't think you're overreacting. And I think you have every right to feel like kind of betrayed and slighted by this person. And you have every right to tell your manager, like, not only am I not going to cover for this person, like, maybe you should see why this person's calling out. But then again, like, sometimes it seems like in this situation, all you had to say was, no, I can't come in today. It seems like that's all you had to say.
Yeah.
You could have let fate sort out the rest. If they're posting on their social media, I'm sure their boss would have caught it, especially if they're connected in that way. Wasn't necessarily your place to put a person on blast like that. I don't think so, but I don't think you're wrong. What do you think, Marie?
I think there is definitely overreaction because you're upset, and the first thing you decide to do, it's being it's not disrespectful, but kind of like, but look, he did that. It's not necessary. When you're adult, you worry about yourself. You don't need to go and say anything about other people. Trust me, your boss, sooner or later, find out. Maybe not this concert, maybe next one, or after that one. Even if they never knew. What if next time you decide to go to the concert and you have last moment tickets and it's your favorite band and you just like, I want to, like, can you take my shift? And she said, nah, After you did to me? No. And you just like, but what I need to do? I promise you, that person doesn't say anything.
Well, now they might.
I don't think so. It's this feeling that respect people who you work with, because she comes to you first and she's asked you, hey, can you switch the shifts? And you can, and you say, and she's upset, of course.
Of course.
She said like, okay, maybe she tried to talk with someone else and they also say no. Maybe she don't know they called you. She don't know like, oh, if I'm not going, they definitely call her and she goes. Maybe not. Maybe she don't have any thoughts like this. Just like, I want to go to that concert and I'm so sick to go on that concert.
Yeah, like I don't think she should have necessarily offered up the information of like,
Yeah.
go check on the page. But what could be missing if we're gonna like try to pull like context out of thin air, like maybe the boss was like, come on, you need to come in, you need to be a team player, so and so sick, come on, maybe blowing up her phone like, hey, come in, you need to work, you need to work. And then she might have just been like, you know what, no, this, they're at a concert. They're getting jiggy with it with Will Smith in France right now.
Getting jiggy with it.
But you know what I mean? It could have been a situation like that where you were being pressured to do something. Like with the context, she took off time way in advance for a reason, and the boss is asking her to break that and be a team player.
You can just always say no.
You can always just leave it at no. But then, like I said, if we're pulling context out of thin air, maybe her boss was getting on her case.
There is only 2 people who work there. But like, you see, it's like if
But
there's
she was the
other-
only person not scheduled that night, meaning everyone else was working, and they needed the one other person.
I will say like this: if I'm a boss and something like this happens, I'll step forward and I do my job. It's my business. I am responsible for it. Totally understand that it feels not fair from a perspective of OP. It's not fair. Why she's dancing and singing there and I'm here, must go work. That I already knew that I need to go on my family member birthday or party or whatever. I said it much before. Why I must do this? Why they do this to me? Sometimes it's not that personal. Sometimes it's not personal at all.
Yeah, if it was simply, can you come in? No.
No, I'm busy.
But then again, it just really depends. We would need more context. But just based
Definitely.
off of the information, like, we don't think you overreacted in saying no. Maybe you overreacted offering information.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not necessary. It's not your business. You worry only about yourself. When you grow up, I believe she's young because it's give the vibe of teenager or like
Young adult.
young
yeah.
adult. Because when you older, you just like, I worry about myself, about my own comfort, about my own work, about my own responsibilities. Other people, it's not my business.
So I realized looking over the comments, someone offered their own story. So you could almost think of this as a 2-for-1.
2 price 1.
My brother was getting married in a different city, so I booked the whole weekend off right after I got the invite. 2 months before the wedding, I reminded my manager just in case. Then again, 2 weeks before. My coworker, who had been talking nonstop about the surprise party she was planning for her boyfriend's birthday, which happened to be the same day as my brother's wedding, I didn't think anything of it. The new schedule comes out, and she's scheduled for the Saturday night of his party / the wedding. She almost never works Saturday nights. I usually work them, so she didn't think she'd had to book it off. She spent the entire shift losing her shit and begging me to work it for her. But I can't miss this party. I'm the one throwing it for him. So you want me to miss my brother's wedding? Are you insane? That's not happening. The whole shift, she would not let up. She genuinely felt it was unfair of me to make her work. Girl, I booked it off 4 months ago when I got my invite. You're crazy if you think I'm going to miss a family wedding for your boyfriend of 6 months' birthday party. I had to call my manager the next morning to give him the heads up, and so he would know that me working was out of the question. He was 1,000% on board and also thought it was insane that she was demanding that I skip my brother's wedding to cover her 6-hour shift. It's crazy that people will expect their life to be more important to you than your own. Whatever you do, never tell people the reason you can't take their shift for them.
I have to tell you, and our viewers, I recently heard really good phrase. I believe The Olsen sisters say that on one of the interviews. No is a full sentence.
That and you got it, dude.
You got it, dude.
Yeah, you got to. But yeah, if you just say no, just no, sorry, no, I can't. Nope. That's enough reason.
This commenter wrote, not overreacting, and you are not wrong to point out what your coworker was doing to the boss. That's different from how I feel.
Yeah, me either.
Your coworker was fine about calling out, knowing they would call you in and you would miss your nephew's birthday party. She obviously did not think your nephew's birthday party should be as important to you as covering for her so she could attend a concert. She was wrong. You should not have taken one for the team either, because this was important to you and because you already declined to switch shifts with her. She did not like your answer and was trying to force you to do it anyway. That is wrong and irresponsible, not to mention selfish, self-centered, thoughtless, and mean on her part. If her scheme had worked, she probably would have come to you the next workday demanding you give her one of your shifts too, as she couldn't afford the day off and you don't need the OT pay anyway. Am I right? Do not let her blow your phone up. Block her. As for her trying to say you created a hostile work environment by not helping her lie to the boss, let her try reporting that to HR. I highly doubt that it will be taken seriously. LOL. Show the boss of your coworker's hostile environment text before she can start reporting you to him for whatever excuse she can come up with, because while I doubt your boss will believe any of it because he already knows she's a liar, you do need to get out in front of it. I hope your nephew enjoyed his party.
I'm totally disagree with this comment.
I don't disagree depending on context.
Yes, because it doesn't feel like
So she-
coworker like you gonna do this because I don't want to. You gonna work? No, she asked you. You said no. She said like, well, then I say I'm sick.
It really depends on the work environment. There could be more info given here. If it's one of those jobs where like, if one person's out, we need someone to cover it, and she knows the schedule and she knows that she's the only other person, I'm going to ask her to switch. If she doesn't switch, I'm going to call out sick, and it's still her problem anyway. She might have known that calling out sick. That's one side of it, right?
And this I come back again. Everyone worry about their own things.
Sure.
Nobody's like this commenter say, oh, some people think that your nephew birthday less important than their concert. Yes. For them, yes. And for you, your nephew more important than biggest concert of their life. Yeah, everyone have something really important for them. I totally understand to be upset about that, but go and say something like, oh, you need to check her, like you being a brat.
If it became like kind of a conflict between her and her manager, and her manager was making her feel uncomfortable about not covering that shift, then that's one thing. But if it's just like, well, she called out sick and she's not covering, we got to figure something out. Yeah, you don't have to offer the information. No one gets in trouble. So I guess we would need more information. Like, just mind your own business unless it directly affects you.
Definitely. But
Yeah.
this comment is so mean. So mean.
This person probably experienced some
Probably.
hostile work environments
Yeah.
and kind of the same situation where people would put them in that same position.
Yeah, and probably people would this how they
Right.
describe them.
There's definitely people like that. Just keep in mind that no two workplaces are alike.
Yeah.
I would say, like, if you're in the position where just saying no, I can't come in, sorry, and you can leave it at that. Like, you took the time off well in advance, you shouldn't be obliged to come in. But if it becomes a situation where like you feel like that you're being forced, or like you feel like you've been wronged in this situation, then yeah, of course, speak up for yourself. And if you know something, like, sure, say something. Just keep in mind that just like her calling out sick for a concert, that choice had a consequence. Like, your choice has a consequence too. It depends on your work environment, if you guys were a tight-knit group or like whatever. But I think default is just, if you're able to say no, I already took off, I can't come in, say no and turn off your notifications on your phone. And if this is like a habit that your coworker does, that's another thing. Like, protect your job first and protect your own time first. It's not as clear cut, but I think it made for a nice discussion. What do you think?
Yeah, I reading that comment, OP already told her in advance that he had already committed to nephew's birthday party, why she still lied and tried to use OP? What a selfish and dishonest jerk. She should be fired.
That depends on the context. If it is a situation where the person who called out sick was trying to take advantage and knew,
Yeah.
then sure, you can have that opinion. These are Reddit posts, right? And sometimes they're not super specific, and for a good reason. They don't want people finding them, right?
Yep.
I think just kind of based off of the information that we have, I think ultimately we can say, like, stand your ground, don't come in if you already took the time off, and don't offer up any more information than you need to. Because you know what? Things will sort themselves out in time. Or, you never know. That person might have really needed that concert in their life. And you made their work life a lot harder. If this was a problem employee, like, maybe it's not your place to try to root them out. That's up to your boss and your management. Any last thoughts on this, Marie?
Yes. As we always say, communicate. Just talk. Explain your point of view. Try to be respectful to people around you, because you never know when you're going to be in a situation that they need. You never know when you're going to be in a situation when you need their respect. Even if sometimes that people not really pleasant, still be respectful. That's the best advice I can give to people who's dealing with this kind of situations.
And another piece of advice I would give is go clock back into work. Your lunch break's over and your coworkers need you. I've been Jay.
I'm definitely Marie.
And this was Lunch Break. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.